I want to jump to another topic. Commonwealth Court just wrapped up a hearing on the new voter ID law. It actually was spread out over 2 weeks. They're expected to issue a decision on a potential injunction in the next week or so. Regardless of that outcome, this is for sure headed to the state Supreme Court. Are you concerned all this back and forth in the courts is causing more confusion for people?
No. 87% of the people in Pennsylvania support this.
Where do you get that number? What was that number from?
There were polls that were taken of it. And continuing, I mean, I was talking to individuals yesterday from the city of Philadelphia who supported this. And in this day and age, the vast majority of people carry identification. And photo identification. What we heard in the testimony in the courtroom were the people saying, "Well, we can't. They can't get their photo ID." And they were there in the courtroom rather than, "We can help you get a photo ID." And we are bringing as much uniformity. And when we hear a complaint, we're trying to address that complaint. And there are more forms of photo ID than just the ID issued by PennDOT. For the students, as we know now, all of the state-relateds, I believe, and the state system schools are going to either put a sticker on with an expiration date on the photo ID of the student or give a new card. Many of the private schools in Pennsylvania are doing the same thing, so you have that.
There's nursing home
IDs. There's nursing home IDs.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, you have from now until 6 days after the election to get that photo ID. And family members, you can call them to get you to help if you're elderly, you are infirmed, and many people infirmed can't go to the polls in the first place. Well, you can get an absentee ballot.
I got a letter in the mail last week, and I couldn't figure out why. And then I figured it out. Actually, Kathy Clark at Radio PA got one too, and when we compared notes and figured it out. My driver's license says Bradley. My voter registration says Brad. Am I going to have any trouble voting?
Huh? No, you won't, especially with the photo ID.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but that's why you're one of the people. Remember when PennDOT made the comparison between PennDOT and the photo?
That's why that number seems so inflated.
That's why that number seems high. If it varies, now the law says substantially is the same. Well, Brad and Bradley, we all know, is substantially the same. My title, my full name is Thomas W. Corbett, Jr. For governor, I write Tom Corbett. Mm-hmm. I adopted that quite a long time ago. Okay, I will say my driver's license is consistent with my voter license.
I don't know how that happened.
There's people like Brad. I don't know, but
what's yours?
But I'm the same, Matthew G. Paul, everywhere. Okay. But I do want to point out there was 750,000 that did not match up when they cross-referenced the voter databases with the PennDOT databases. And in that, I now know that there's Brad, there's Kathy, there's House Minority Leader Frank Dermody. I know there's a bunch more folks probably who have that same problem with their voter card and their driver's license not matching up. And that number also does not count the passports, the student IDs, the nursing home IDs the governor just referenced. So,
well, it also doesn't include the people who are no longer eligible to vote because they've been removed from the records because they haven't voted in a certain period of time. It also doesn't include, and if you remember, 4 years ago there was a strong drive to register students. Well, those students have probably moved on, and many of them were from out of state and have moved out of state, so they're not going to have – they never would have matched in the first place because I will bet you they had their driver's license from Maryland and their voter ID from Pennsylvania.
I just want to put that 750,000 in a bit of context there to make sure folks understand.
I think it's an important number to understand.